The Senate will come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Senators Bridges, Buckner, Buckner, Coleman, Cook, Coram, Danielson,
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Donovan, Fields,
Present.
Gardner, Janal, Gonzalez, Hansen, Henriksen, Heisey, Holbert, Jaquez Lewis, Kirkmeyer, Kolker, Lee, Liston, Lundeen, Moreno, Pedersen,
Here.
Priola, Rankin, Rodriguez, Scott,
Here.
Simpson, Simpson, Smallwood, Sonnenberg, Story,
Here.
What did she say? I think I heard her quietly.
Winter, Woodward, Zenzinger. Mr. President,
Here. With the morning roll call is 35 present, 0 absent, 0 excused. Wow, 35. Well done. We have a quorum. Will the other good senator from Colorado Springs? See here. Oh yeah. Please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Mr. President. I thought Senator Gardner was going to come down. Please follow me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance.
Approval of the journal, Senator Liston.
Mr. President, it's only fitting that since today is St. Patrick's Day that I do a limerick, and with your permission, I will do my limerick. Senator Coleman, the urban cowboy, is quite high-sounding. He knows the rules and can be most confounding. His bills, he gives good testimony, even though they are full of baloney. And we in the Senate find him most dumbfounding. And with that, Mr. President, I move the reading of the Journal of Wednesday, March 16th, 2022 be dispensed with and the journal be approved as corrected by the Secretary.
Senator Liston, let this be a lesson that you should be a little more like Esther than Haman. And for, out of respect for the good urban cowboy, Senator Coleman, you will be fined $2
$2. Very good.
for that limerick. You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and that motion is adopted. Senate Services.
Correctly printed, Senate Joint Resolution 007, correctly engrossed, Senate Bill 143 and 144, correctly re-engrossed, Senate Bill 141, correctly revised, House Bill 1113, correctly re-revised, House Bill 1088, 1102, correctly enrolled, Senate Bill 20 and 92.
Committee reports.
March 16, 2022, Committee on Judiciary. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. House Bill 1250 be referred to the Committee of the Whole. Favorable recommendation with the recommendation that it be placed on the consent calendar. March 16, 2022, Committee on Judiciary. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. House Bill 1245 be referred to the Committee on the Whole with favorable recommendation and with the recommendation that it be placed on the consent calendar. March 16, 2022, Committee on Judiciary. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. House Bill 1211 be amended as follows. And as so amended, be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation and with the recommendation that it be placed on the consent calendar. March 16, 2022, Committee on Judiciary. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. House Bill 1208 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations. March 16, 2022, the Committee on Judiciary. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. House Bill 1038 be amended as follows. And as so amended, be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation with a recommendation that be placed on the consent calendar. March 15, 2022, the Committee on Transportation and Energy has had under consideration and has had a hearing on the following appointments and recommends that the appointments be placed on the consent calendar and confer a member of the Transportation Commission for a term expiring July 1st, 2025. Karen Donna Stewart of Broomfield, Colorado, to serve as Commissioner from the 4th Transportation District, appointed. March 15, 2022, the Committee on Transportation and Energy has had under consideration and has had a hearing on the following appointments and recommends that the appointments be confirmed members of the Transportation Commission for terms expiring July 1st, 2025. Jessica Sitlali Holguin of Denver, Colorado, to serve as a Commissioner from the 1st Transportation District, appointed. Eula Adams of Denver, Colorado, to serve as a Commissioner from the 3rd Transportation District, reappointed. Mark Garcia of Pagosa Springs, Colorado, to serve as a Commissioner from the 8th Transportation District, appointed. Terry A. Hart of Pueblo, Colorado, to serve as a Commissioner from the 10th Transportation District, appointed. March 15, 2022, Committee on Transportation and Energy has had under consideration and has had a hearing on the following appointments and recommends that the appointments be confirmed. Members of the Clean Transit Enterprise for terms expiring September 28, 2024. Bonnie Tobridge of Berthoud, Colorado, to serve as a representative of a public advocacy group that has transit or comprehensive transportation expertise, appointed. Matt Frommer of Denver, Colorado, to serve as an individual with expertise in zero emissions transportation, motor vehicle fleets, or utilities, appointed. Don Block of La Junta, Colorado, to serve as a representative of a transportation-focused organization that serves an environmental justice community occasioned by the resignation of Daenerys Dea Zaval of Westminster, Colorado, appointed for terms expiring September 28, 2025. David Averill of Telluride, Colorado, to serve as a representative of a rural area and have transit experience, appointed. Mark Garcia of Pagosa Springs, Colorado, to serve as a member of the Transportation Commission and have statewide transportation expertise, appointed. Chris Jones of Boulder, Colorado, to serve as a representative of an urban area and have transit expertise, appointed. March 15, 2022, the Committee on Transportation and Energy has had under consideration and has had a hearing on the following appointments and recommends that the appointments be confirmed members of the non-attainment area air pollution mitigation enterprise for terms expiring at the pleasure of the governor. Danielle Stacy Suniga of Greeley, Colorado, to serve as an individual with expertise on environmental justice or public health issues, appointed. Lynn Bach of Brighton, Colorado, to serve as an elected official of a disproportionately impacted community that is a member of the Denver Regional Council of Governments, appointed. Kristen Stevens of Fort Collins, Colorado, to serve as an elected official of a local government that is a member of the North Front Range Metropolitan Planning Organization, appointed. Jessica Holguin of Denver, Colorado, to serve as a representative of disproportionately impacted communities, appointed. Lynn Wheeler of Aurora, Colorado, to serve as a representative of disproportionately impacted communities, appointed. March 17, 2022, the Committee on Legal Services, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. House Bill 1165 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation. March 16, 2022, the Committee on Business, Labor, and Technologies had under consideration and has had a hearing on the following appointments and recommends that the appointments be placed on the consent calendar. Confirmed members of the Board of Assessment Appeals for terms expiring June 30, 2022. Claudia Crane of Crestone, Colorado, appointed. Valerie Bartel of Longmont, Colorado, reappointed. John DeBronx of Denver, Colorado, reappointed. Sammy Forsyth of Colorado Springs, Colorado, reappointed. Monty Mullins of Alamosa, Colorado, appointed. And Amy J. Williams of MAI of Hayden, Colorado, a member engaged in agriculture, reappointed for a term expiring June 30, 2025. Ann Louisa Miracle of Denver, Colorado, occasioned by the resignation of Deborah Bombach, appointed. March 16, 2022, the Committee on Business, Labor, and Technologies had under consideration and has had a hearing on the following appointments and recommends that the appointments be placed on the consent calendar and confirm members of the Colorado Tourism Office Board of Directors for a term expiring June 1st, 2025, Philip Washington of Aurora, Colorado, to serve as an at-large member from a tourism-based industry is appointed. Nicholas Regain of Colorado Springs, Colorado, to serve as a representative for Culture Event Facilities appointed. March 16, 2022, the Committee on Business, Labor, and Technology has had under consideration and has had a hearing on the following appointments and recommends that the appointments be placed on the consent calendar and confirmed. Members of the Denver Metropolitan Major League Stadium District Board of Directors for terms expiring on August 1st, 2022. Damon O'Berry of Westminster, Colorado, appointed. F. Robert Lee of Littleton, Colorado, reappointed. David Scott Martinez of Golden, Colorado, reappointed. Stephanie Forbes Donner of Denver, Colorado, reappointed for terms expiring on August 1st, 2023. Victor F. Ritter of Denver, Colorado, appointed. Ramona Martinez of Denver, Colorado, appointed. Andrew Marshall Feinstein of Denver, Colorado, appointed. March 16, 2022, the Committee on Business, Labor, and Technology, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 140 be amended as follows, and as so amended, be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. March 16, 2022, the Committee on Finance, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 120 be amended as follows, and as so amended, be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. March 16, 2022, the Committee on Finance, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 119 be amended as follows, and as so amended, be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. March 16, 2022, the Committee on Finance, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following: House Bill 1016 be referred favorable to the Committee on Appropriations. March 16, 2022, the Committee on Finance, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 118 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations.
Message from the House.
March 16, 2022, the House has passed on third reading and transmitted to the Revisor of Statutes House Bill 1139, amended as printed in House Journal March 11, 2022. The House has passed on third reading and transmitted to the Revisor of Statutes House Bill 1224, 1025, 1093, 1098, 1111, and 1252, amended as printed in House Journal March 15, 2022. The House has passed on third reading and transmitted to the Revisor of Statutes House Bill 1225 and 1275. The House has passed on third reading and transmitted to the Revisor of Statutes Senate Bill 115, 2695, amended as printed in House Journal March 15, 2022. The House has passed on third reading and returns here with Senate Bill 92 and 20.
Message from the Revisor.
We herewith transmit without comment House Bill 1225 and 1275 without comment and as amended House Bill 1025, 1093, 1098, 1111, 1139, 1224, and 1252 without comment and as amended Senate Bill 2695 and 115.
Introduction of resolutions. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Joint Resolution 8?
Senate Joint Resolution 8, Senators Sonnenberg and Cook, Representative McKean and Holtorf, concerning Colorado energy development.
State Veterans and Military Affairs. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Resolution 3?
Senate Resolution 3, Senators Heisey and Zenzinger, concerning recognition of single-parent day in Colorado.
Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Resolution 3 lay over till Monday, March 21st.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and Senate Resolution 3 will lay over to Monday, March 21st. Introduction of bills.
Senate Bill 158, Senator Donovan, concerning support for Species Conservation Trust Fund deficits and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Agriculture and Natural Resources.
Senate Bill 159, Senators Bridges and Zenzinger, Representatives Ortiz and Will, concerning the creation of a revolving loan fund within the Division of Housing in the Department of Local Affairs to make investments in transformational affordable housing.
Local Government.
Senate Bill 160, Senators Gonzalez and Hinrichsen, Representatives Bazenaker and Lindsay, concerning programs to preserve mobile home communities and in connection therewith establishing revolving loan and grant program to assist mobile homeowners seeking to purchase their communities.
Local Government. Third reading of bills, consent calendar. Will the clerk please read the titles to all the bills on the consent calendar?
Senate Bill 143, Senators Kirkmeyer and Woodward, Representatives Pico and Lynch, concerning an update to the terminology used to refer to the regulatory entity within the Department of Regulatory Agencies that regulates particular healthcare professions. House Bill 1113, Representatives Van Beber and Kipp, Senators Kirkmeyer and Janal, concerning amending the appeals procedures in dependency and neglect cases to minimize delay in achieving permanency for children.
Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the passage of all the bills on the third reading of bills final passage consent calendar, which includes Senate Bill 143 and House Bill 1113.
Is there any discussion on any of the bills? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of all the bills on the third reading of bills consent calendar. Are there any no votes on any of the bills on the third reading of bills consent calendar? With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused. Senate Bill 143 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senate Bill 143. Sorry. Senator Smallwood. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1113 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Simpson, Cook, Henriksen, Buckner, Smallwood, Lundin, Woodward, Rankin, Liston, Priola, Bridges, Majority Leader Moreno, Gonzalez, Kolker, Zenzinger, Winter, Hanson, Scott, Fields, please add the president. Third reading of bills, final passage. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 144?
Senate Bill 144, Senators Zenzinger, Representatives Kipp and Rich, concerning the provision of transportation services by a transportation network company not in connection with a business operated for profit.
Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 144 on third reading. I would also like to request permission for a third reading amendment.
Senator Zenzinger, will you please explain why we need a third reading amendment?
Yes. In an attempt to recognize concerns that were presented yesterday during second reading, I reached out to some folks to write an amendment that would then alleviate those concerns, and therefore would like to present that amendment today.
Question before the body is Senator Zenzinger's request for permission to offer a third reading amendment. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and permission is granted. There is an amendment on the desk. Will the clerk please read Amendment L003 to Senate Bill 144?
Amendment L003, Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Amendment L003.
To the amendment.
So yesterday during second reading, we heard some concerns about TNC trips that involve students. Obviously, having students of my own, our students are precious cargo. And we want to ensure that our students, regardless of the trip, are protected and that they are being transported safely. The request that I received among those advocates that expressed this as a concern was to require the Colorado Department of Education to regulate TNCs that provide these student trips. So we reached out to the Colorado Department of Education, said this is what the advocates would like to see. What do you think about that? The department said it's not necessary. What you're requesting is duplicative. We already do that. The districts already fall under our guidelines, and any contracts that they make with TNCs that involve student trips would be individually negotiated, and in those contracts they will ensure all of the proper safety protocols. So thank you, but no thank you. Nevertheless, we also reached out to the districts and said, here's the concern. What do you think about that? The districts said, not necessary. It's duplicative. We already do that. In all of our individual contracts that we do with TNCs, we already write into them the safety regulations that we need in order to ensure school safety. And we are not in the business of regulating an industry. So thanks, but no thanks. Nevertheless, in an abundance of caution, I feel that it's more important to be duplicative, and it's more important to call out these concerns very explicitly. And so we are stating existing practice and highlighting that any contract that involves student trips will take into account the safety provisions that are necessary to transport these student passengers as determined by the school or school district, which, by the way, lives under the guidelines of CDE. This will capture gaps, if there are any. It'll ensure that everybody plays by the same rules, and that at the end of the day, if there are safety concerns, we are calling them out very specifically and making sure that they are taken care of. I don't believe that the amendment was necessary, in my opinion. I don't believe that CDE felt that the amendment was necessary in their opinion. I don't believe the TNCs felt that the amendment was necessary in their opinion. We also reached out to the Department of Regulatory Agencies. They also felt that it was not necessary, but they suggested that we might be able to alleviate any concerns that are out there by explicitly inserting this language into the bill, and so that is what we have done today with this amendment. And I respectfully ask for an aye vote so that we can make sure that our children, our foster children, our homeless children, our seniors, well, it wouldn't apply to seniors unless they were a senior in high school, are able to utilize these trips and that they will be taken care of safely.
Senator Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I hesitated to come down because I am in such a hurry to get to committee today. But decided that we'd take some time to discuss the bill. I thought about having it read at length, but it's not long enough to do that, so it won't delay the inevitable. But let me just understand from the sponsor, this amendment, and this was my analysis as well, this amendment's not necessary. Is that correct?
Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. In the opinion of the Department of Education, the school districts, the TNCs, and DORA, no. But in the opinion of the advocates that care very deeply about safety and the transport of students, it is. It may be duplicative, but I think we should err on the side of caution by restating in the bill that safety will be taken care of instead of assuming it. Instead of taking the districts and the department at their word, I would rather restate for the record in legislation that safety is important to us and that it will be covered.
Any further discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, the motion is for the adoption of, what is this, L003, to Senate Bill 144. Are there any no votes? Senators Gonzalez, Rodriguez, Kolker, Story, Danielson, Jaquez Lewis. With a vote of 29 ayes, 6 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, L003 is adopted. To the bill, Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, members, so much for letting me amend the bill at this stage. I just want to go back and remind folks about the purpose of the bill, because I think there are a lot of arguments. I think there's a lot of history and a lot of baggage that is being discussed about other bills, other issues that have been attached to this bill that I think is somewhat inappropriate. We have a TNC Act here in Colorado. That act was passed in 2014. When we passed that TNC Act, there was an amendment that was attached to that bill. That amendment came from then Representative Diane Mitch Bush. She ran that amendment because she was approached by limousine services that provide trips to the airport or other types of services government services that they did not feel should be classified solely as a TNC. And so they wrote into the regulations that TNCs that provide public benefit, so contract with nonprofits or governmental agencies, would not fall under the TNC regulation scheme. Well, unfortunately, when they added that amendment, it put in place something that they did not mean to put in place. The purpose of that amendment was not to prohibit TNCs from offering TNC services to political subdivisions or tax-exempt entities, and that was not the purpose of the amendment, and they didn't believe it to be so when they offered it. So fast forward a few years, and where we are today is that we in fact do have mainly political subdivisions, governments that are entering into these TNC contracts. So who are we talking about? We are talking about the Academy School District 20. We're talking about Adams 12 School District. We're talking about the Adams 14 School District. We are talking about Aurora Public Schools, Adams County Department of Human Services, Adams County 14 School District, the Arapahoe County Department of Human Services, the Aurora Public Schools, the Boulder County Department of Housing and Human Services, the Boulder Valley School District, the Boulder County Department of Health, the CEC Early College of Denver, the Denver Department of Human Services, the Denver Public Library, the Denver Public Schools, the Denver School of Science and Technology, District 49, the Douglas County Department of Human Services, the Denver Regional Council of Governments, Englewood Public Schools, Highview, the Jefferson County Department of Human Services, the Jefferson County Public Schools, K-12 Colorado Prep Academy and Pikes Peak Online, KIPP Colorado Schools, the Larimer County Department of Human Services, the Littleton Public Schools, Metropolitan State University, the Poudre School District, the Rocky Mountain Prep Charter School, the Regional Transportation District, also known as RTD, School District 27J in Brighton, Strive Prep, Summit Middle School, the Thompson School District, the University Preparatory School, Vega Collegiate Academy, Weld County Department of Human Services, Weld County School Districts, Westminster Public Schools, Widefield School District 3. In addition, Uber, on their Uber Health platform, serves over 125 clients, 2 governmental entities, 4 hospitals, 9 nonprofit organizations, 47 outpatient clinics, and 3 public universities. Believe it or not, this is not an exhaustive list. I am exhausted reading it, but it does not include all of the partnership agreements that are currently happening with TNCs. So why are they happening? What is the purpose behind these contracted agreements? What is happening is Department of Human Service agencies need a reliable, quick, nimble program in order to transport foster youth that are placed in a foster care system in a home that is probably not going to be in the neighborhood that that student lives in or in the same school articulation area that they attend or in even the same town and even quite possibly not even in the same county. We are so short on foster parents right now that when they pick up a student sometimes in the middle of the night and place them in foster care, they have to place them in places that are not near their home school. And we have passed legislation down here at the Capitol requiring that we provide services to those foster youth so that they can attend their home school. Also, these agencies are using TNCs for the purpose of McKinney-Vento. McKinney-Vento is the federal Homeless Student Act, where homeless students have rights to be able to attend their home schools. And so, therefore, departments of county human services are utilizing these TNC services on a case-by-case basis in order to accommodate some of those needs. We also use them for students with special needs as part of their IEPs that are their individual education plans that are written up between the student, the family, and their school district. We also use these TNCs for things other than school trips, and I really want to impress upon you that this is not just about schools. It's also about senior trips. It's also about vaccine clinics. We had one organization that contracted with Boulder County Department of Human Services so that they could transport underserved individuals to vaccine clinics for appointments. So these trips are happening already. They're very valuable. And until we clarify in statute that this irregularity, this inconsistency that currently exists, all of these trips that are taking place are unregulated. And we don't want that. We want to make sure that TNCs are regulated, that all of these agreements are on the up and up. And for all of those reasons, I encourage you today to please cast an aye vote so that we can continue to provide these very important services. Thank you.
Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for the discussion. As many of you know, I think we all know there's good parts of this bill in trying to help our most vulnerable youth have services that we're trying to do. But if you look at this bill, there's nothing in this bill that even defines that. This bill is very broad. While 144 was pitched as providing a valuable service to foster kids and homeless children, which is needed, the majority of these services provide transportation to students with disabilities. The PUC does not currently have rulemaking authority in this area. The Department of Education does, and I wish they would have addressed this, but I think the chaos of COVID, this slipped. I'm not blaming anyone. I do think we need to slow this bill down, do this right. There's a lot at stake. To be clear, this bill doesn't even direct the PUC to make rules for child safety. None. This bill has no fiscal note, which makes me believe that there's no rulemaking under the PUC. This means that a 9-year-old with Down syndrome riding alone to school will have the same safety regulations as an adult hailing an Uber on Friday night. It's not even clear if a driver has to, by law, pass a fingerprint-based background check. I can't even volunteer in a school without a fingerprint check. I'm not okay with this. Senate Bill 144 also creates a system when one type of company is regulated under the Department of Education and another type of company is regulated under the PUC, even when they are providing the exact same services to students. Why should a kid in Cherry Creek have different protections than a student in Denver, or one neighborhood to another? Don't parents get a choice? If they feel uncomfortable with the lack of safety rules, they don't get to say to the district, well, I want another provider. This is a consumer protection issue as well as a disabilities rights issue and a labor issue. Quite frankly, I don't think it's appropriate for kids with disabilities, foster youth, unhoused youth to have fewer protections than kids who currently receive from a yellow school bus services. By authorizing local government entities to contract with the TNCs and having them regulated by the PUC, which has done little to no regulations of TNCs since 2014, TNCs can outbid any public transportation system currently provided. They put the vehicle cost, maintenance, and gasoline costs on the driver. They do not provide minimum wage, overtime, workers' compensation, unemployment insurance, anti-discrimination protection, paid sick leave, and many other protections. A school district can cut costs quickly by outsourcing to TNCs. I understand funding is a problem. I am very sensitive to that, and we have to fund our schools, not ask gig workers to pick up the tab. Corporate TNCs, none of whom are broke, I'll add, should not ask gig workers, many of whom are low income and people of color, to pick up their tab. A similar bill was introduced in Kansas. Local school boards, which are nonpartisan, politically diverse bodies, opposed the bill because TNC regulations would not meet the same safety standards that their state education department sets, and there would be no oversight of these specialty services. In 2014, Lyft and Uber started operating in the state in violation of the law. They were told to cease and desist by the PUC, then jammed legislation through to authorize their use. This is the same story, except this time it's kids, seniors at risk populations, public services paid for by taxpayer dollars. This is not how Colorado should treat public policy, creating false urgency to justify weak regulations. Colleagues, I want this bill to be done right. I'm a no for now, and I ask for a no vote.
Is there any further discussion? You sure? The motion is, where are we? We passed the amendment. We did, didn't we? The motion is the adoption of Senate Bill 144. Are there any no votes? Senators Jaquez Lewis, Sonnenberg, Rodriguez, Kolker, Gonzalez, Story, Danielson, with a vote of 28 ayes, 7 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, Senate Bill 144 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senate Bill 144. Senators Lundin, Gardner, Priola, Quorum, Smallwood, Cook, Woodward. Janal. Heisey. Message from the governor.
February 11, 2022, to the Honorable Colorado Senate. Ladies and gentlemen, pursuant to the powers conferred upon me by the Constitution and laws of the state of Colorado, I have the honor to designate, appoint, and submit to your consideration the following members of the Colorado Water Conservation Board, effective February 13, 2022, for terms expiring February 12, 2025. Jacqueline K. Brown of Oak Creek, Colorado, to serve as a representative of the Yampa White Drainage Basin and as a Democrat reappointed. Jessica Ray Brody of Denver, Colorado, to serve as a representative from the city and county of Denver and as a Democrat reappointed. Brian Paul Bucas of Parshall, Colorado, to serve as a representative of the Maine, Colorado Drainage Bases and as a Republican appointed. Sincerely, Jared Polis, Governor.
Agriculture and Natural Resources. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. Having voted on the prevailing side, I move for the immediate reconsideration of Senate Bill 144.
Thank you, Mr. Majority Leader. This will mean we have to do everything that we just did. Everything, all of it, again. Just kidding. I thought something weird was going on in that corner, maybe. The motion is for the reconsideration of Senate Bill 144. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The motion is adopted and reconsideration is granted. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 144?
Senate Bill 144, Senators Zenzinger, Representatives Kipp and Rich, concerning the provision of transportation services by a transportation network company not in connection with a business operated for profit.
Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 144, and thankfully, I found an exhaustive list. So, hopefully I'll be able to get in it in 20 minutes. No, just kidding.
Senator Zenzinger, I think we still need to have you move the bill. Oh, did you move the bill? I've had too many cookies today. The motion is for the adoption of Senate Bill 144. Are there any no votes? Senators Jaquez Lewis, Rodriguez, Colker, Gonzalez, Danielson, Story, Buckner, with a vote of 28 ayes, 7 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, Senate Bill 144 is passed. Co-sponsor, Senate Bill 144, Senators Smallwood, Priola, Quorum, Sonnenberg, Heisey, Gardner, Cook, Liston, Woodward, Lundeen, Janal, signing of bills.
The President has signed Senate Bill 30.
Announcements. Senator Donovan.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, Mr. President. May I request a moment of personal privilege?
Granted. Granted.
Colleagues, just wanted to explain and give credit for the American Irish State Legislators Caucus that you got a lovely signed membership card from, as well as the pen. These are from Senator Mark Daly in Ireland. He is the chair. He is the chair of the Senate of the Island, which is the equivalent of our dear president. And he sent these pens over and these cards, as well as a flag that is draped across my chair that was flown where the original tricolor was first flown. The Irish flag represents peace. The white between the green and orange is a symbol of the need in Ireland for ongoing peace, and for two different sides, the green and the orange, to join together with peace in the middle. And so that is the spirit of the flag pins that he sent along for us to wear today, to remind ourselves on St. Patrick's Day and all the days of to seek peace. And on this day, when we all wear a little green, we're a little Irish, and Ireland welcomes all of you. You are also all invited to visit Senator Mark Daly if you ever make it across the ocean to the Emerald Shores. If you're Irish or not, he would love to host you and take you on a tour of their chambers. So reach out to me and Mark Daly if you ever make it over to Ireland. You can wear your orange tie, Senator Cook, in the spirit of peace. So happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. Thank you.
Senator Quorum.
Thank you, Mr. President. Having spoken to the majority leader and the minority leader, I would request to be excused on Monday. And I would have a further question for the president, if you do not mind. Thank you for the prayer this morning. It was very educational. I did not know anything about that. And I was very intrigued by the fact that it was compared to Mardi Gras. And having been to Mardi Gras, Mr. President, did you earn any beads?
Senator Corn, we'll talk about that later. Senator Corn will be marked as excused on Monday. Senator Heisey.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am joined here with my co-chair of the Sportsman's Caucus with very good news. Yeah. Very good news. After a long delay caused by COVID, etc., the hot dogs are back.
They're back.
Yep. Today, the Sportsman's Caucus will be meeting downstairs, and prior to entering the room there, you will find a table set up with the hot dogs. Some of your aides are down there helping us now. I hope you know that. If not, please give them some grace.
Thank you.
Senator Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to thank the Sportsman Caucus for providing lunch for Judiciary Committee today. And I wanted to announce for everyone in the lobby that if I'm needed at all anytime today, on into the evening, I can be located in or near the old State Library, the room formerly known as 271, and I will try to find the time to be able to come out and speak with you momentarily or at length. Thank you.
Oh, you think you're that important?
Senator Hansen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would request a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Members, as we wrap up our floor work here this Thursday, I wanted to continue the very productive and robust conversation that we've been having about Ukraine. I am very grateful for the unanimous support in this body for a resolution on Ukraine recently. As this conflict enters its horrible third week, 3 weeks today, we see on the news last night that the Russians decided to bomb a theater that was sheltering children. You may have also caught on the news that President Zelensky addressed a joint session of Congress yesterday, a very emotional, heartfelt speech asking for more help. And that continues a very important debate in the halls of Congress, in the White House, about how to do more. And I'm not here to add to that debate. I certainly think this body has made its feelings clear on that with our resolution. But I wanted to bring up a different angle here, which is the companies that continue to do business with Russia. President Putin yesterday was complaining about the West canceling Russia. And my response is absolutely yes. Let's cancel Putin's Russia. Not the Russians, but Putin's Russia. So I did a little bit of digging last night, and there is a very comprehensive list of Western companies that continue to do business in Russia. It is updated every day by the School of Management at Yale University. It has become the authoritative source on the public statements and the public actions of Western companies in Russia. There are several companies that many of us probably interact with every day, from Dannon, like yogurt and dog food, Dunkin' Donuts. Did anybody have a Dunkin' Donuts this morning? Yum Brands, which is KFC and Taco Bell. Those are companies we're all, I think, pretty familiar with. They have only publicly said they will not do new investments in Russia. Not good enough. There are also other companies that have not only said we're not going to stop operations in Russia, we're going to continue them, and we're going to continue to support the Putin regime. Also some very familiar names: Cargill, Koch Industries, Halliburton, Schlumberger, Subway. So I asked the body this question: should the state of Colorado continue to do business with these companies? Should our pension funds be invested in these companies? I ask you to think about that. What is it that this body can do? What is it that we can get up in the morning and make a difference? I think these are pretty important questions. So we'll continue this conversation together, but I think this is a moment for these companies to be held to account. And I appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
Senator Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Judiciary Committee will be meeting at 10:30 in the old State Library.
Senator Donovan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues and those listening, please note that Senate Ag will be in a different room today. We'll be meeting in 352, but still at our normal time of 1:30.
Senator Jaquez Lewis.
Thank you, Mr. President. While we do not have hot dogs, the Claw Caucus is meeting today. We will be meeting in the basement, room 112 at 12 noon. Please come join us.
Senator Hansen.
Thank you, Mr. President. For the members of the Senate Appropriations Committee, we will be meeting on Friday morning. We'll gavel in at 8:30. We have 15 bills under consideration. You'll see those listed on page 5 of this morning's calendar. Look forward to seeing everyone. Senate Appropriations, 8:30 LSBB.
Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Senate Education Committee will meet and hear all of the bills and all of the appointments as listed on the calendar. Surprising.
Senator Lundin.
Mr. President, I request a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you, good teacher. From the beginning of our morning with a homily about Haman and Mordecai and Esther, I would like to demonstrate the diversity of this body, the cultural exchange that happens among us on a daily basis, and offer up a benediction as we all leave today in honor of St. Patrick's Day. And I would say simply, may the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may the Lord hold you in the palm of his hands. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Lundin. Further announcements. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate adjourn until Friday, March 18th at 9 a.m.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the Senate will adjourn until 9 a.m. Friday, March 18th, 2022.